I think that doing this could be super fun, just going through random Wikipedia articles and making fun of them. Let's see what we've got next. Stare! Wait, how's this pronounced?
Style.
What? Wait. Hold up now.
Style.
Why is there this, like, pause, this, like, 3-second pause of this guy, like, unwrapping a candy bar or something? Anyway, it's a statutory city located in the Austrian federal state of Upper Austria. My home away from home. That's, where I was born and bred, guys. It is the administrative capital, though not part of the Steyr land district. Steyr is Austria's 12th most populated town and the 3rd largest city in Upper Austria. Incredible stuff here. I mean, let's take a look. Ooh, that's actually really beautiful. That is actually really beautiful. I was just gonna poke a little fun at Steyr, Austria, but look at this coat of arms. Isn't this so cool? Come on, look at this. What do we got next? Overtrading! It's a term in financial statement analysis. Overtrading often occurs when companies expand their operations too quickly, aggressively. Overtraded companies enter a negative cycle where an increase in interest expenses negatively impacts the net profit, which leads to lesser working capital, and that leads to increased borrowings, which in turn leads to interest expenses, and the cycle continues. Which leads to me saying it leads to about 5 more times. Overtraded companies eventually face liquidity problems and can run out of working capital. Rapid growth conditions. Listen in. Never say you didn't learn anything from the stream. Never say it. Rapid growth in business development and sales, less in net profit. The business running with limited knowledge, cash flow problem, or short of working capital. Inaccurate or unrealistic cash budget, having many unpaid vendors, high level of interest/debt servicing costs, high gearing ratio, keen market competition, overstock or slow movement of inventory, or current and quick ratios fall. In retail context, the term overtrading is sometimes used to describe a situation where a retail outlet has more customers than it can handle, or its sales per area are higher than its comparator. Comparator. Okay. Locations. This meaning of overtrading has been used in relation to Aldi and IKEA, especially in the UK. I don't care, frankly. Kargyong is a type of sausage made with ginger, garlic, and salt. It's a project of Sikkim, where it's consumed by the Busha, Tibetan, Sherpa, Lepcha, and Drukpa people mostly. It can be found in the local restaurants and food stalls of Sikkim, the Darjeeling Himalayan hill region, Bhutan, Tibet, and Ladakh. It is made with beef, lang kargyong, yak kargyong, and pork, fak kargyong. It's made with natural casing called yuma and cooked by boiling. It is then smoked and dried for at least 10 days, but up to 15 days or more. The finished lang kargyong can be eaten boiled. It is also fried with onion, chilies, salt, and onion to be used in it's guys. It's fried with onion and onion. That's serious. The fried sausage is also eaten plain with raxi liquor or chang. The microorganisms associate with kargyong as various types of a bunch of stuff I can't pronounce or really don't care about. Okay, understood. Yeah, I mean, again, never say you don't learn anything here. This is beautiful. We're learning stuff right now. We're learning about refunctioning. It's a core strategy of the aesthetic developed by German modernist theater practitioner Bertolt Brecht. He and I go way back. Brecht wanted his theater to intervene in the process of shaping society, Robert Leach explains, so in his work. The duality of form and content was replaced to over-schematize briefly by a triad of content, better described in Brecht's case by the formalist term material, form, who's up, I can't wait to consume material. Form, again the formalist term technique is more useful here, and function. In Brecht's dramatic form, these three constantly clash but never properly coalesce to compound as a rounded whole. Interesting. I don't care, is the problem. List of ministers of foreign affairs of Armenia. That now is what I care about. Let's talk about it. We've got, of course, the classic foreign affairs minister of the First Republic of Armenia, you know, Alexander Katizian, let's go with that. Sirikan Tigranyan, you know, Classic. That Alexander guy again, of course. Ohanigan? Wait, Ohanjanyan? I don't know. You know what? We've got ministers of the foreign affairs of Armenia now. Forget the first republic of Armenia. Who needs it? Because now, right now, we've got Ararat Mirzayan as our foreign affairs minister. You always gotta have a minister, and his party is the Civil Contract Party. Let's read about the Civil Contract Party. That's what everybody cares about. Liberalism, reformism, populism, and pro-Europeanism. Pro-Europeanism? I'm out. The best thing that's come from being an adult for me is that I can now call myself a grown-ass man. I can be like, I'm a grown-ass man, and etc. It's like kind of the best part of being an adult. Anyways, let's talk about the Tsunezumi Station, of course. It's a passenger railway station in the city of Mito, Ibaraki Prefecture, Japan, operated by the 3rd Sector Kashima Rinkai Railway. Can we get a W train station in the chat right now, please? We rock with public transport. Does the tipsy community rock with public transport? Let's talk about John Symank now. He was an American college and professional football player who was a defensive back in the National Football League for 7 seasons during the 1950s and 60s. Symank played college football for the University of Florida, and thereafter he played professionally for the Green Bay Packers and St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals, that is a deep cut. Deep cut. Later, the head coach for Northern Arizona University and a University of Texas at Arlington football teams. That's unfortunate for you. What was he? 2-time NFL champion for the Packers. Good on him. He had, 19 picks? 387 return yards? 1 TD? 12 fumbles recovered? This guy was not bad. This is a good cornerback. I mean, I'm sure he made like all of $17 in his career. That's impressive. That's at least like $17 in today's currency. Triumph is not gonna my biological father Triumph is not gonna like this. What I do like though is the Swedish ethyl acetate method. Are we all familiar? Okay, let's start. Show of hands. Who here is familiar with the Swedish ethyl acetate method? I'll put up 2. I'll put up an extra hand for somebody. You know? Cause you deserve it. But I know about it. Hopefully you do. You're about to. It's the method for chemical analysis of pesticide residues in food using ethyl acetate as an extraction medium, followed by analysis with liquid chromatography tandem mass spectrometry and gas chromatography tandem mass spectrometry. It was developed by the Swedish National Food Agency, a national reference laboratory for pesticides analysis, for quantitative analysis of over 500 pesticides in fruits, vegetables, cereals, and products of animal origin. I mean, that was a little too much learning for one. That was too much learning. I'm going random. Zvangombe! What? Zimbabwe! It is an archaeological site in Mashonaland, central Zimbabwe, located near the Zambezi River. It is the home of the 15th century namesake city. It is believed to have been settled around 1450. That's a little older than I am. The decline of the Great Zimbabwe in the 15th century led to the establishment of the Kingdom of Mutapa. According to oral tradition, around 1420, Chibata Matosi sent Natsimba Mutota north to look for salt. He found salt 300 miles north of a tribe of elephant hunters near the Zambezi River in a gold-rich area. Nyatsimba Mutota took some of his people and moved to the modern-day Centenary area, settling the first capital at Vangombe. I'm gonna maybe assume that's how that's said. Okay. Good for Mr. Mutota over here. That's a win in my book. The next person to come up when I press random article, that person is coming on the stream. That's the rotavirus. Yep. Okay, you know what? We could probably schedule in some time for the rotavirus to come on to the stream. It's a diarrheal disease. Maybe the rotavirus shouldn't come on the stream. Let's move away. Okay. Quaten Taken, name derived from an unknown language local to the Katkop Mountains, also known as Rachel or Griot, was a noted San Well, I don't know how to pronounce any of these things. Oops. How do you? Oh, wait. Yes. Tell me.
Hum.
Hum. Okay. Was a noted Hum chronicler of Hum culture and knowledge. She played an important role in contributing to the Bleak and Lloyd archive of specimens of Bushman folklore, providing a female perspective on the lives, rituals, and belief of the Hum society. She was a primary source on Hum folklore and customs and coming of age rites. She traveled to the Cape in June 1874 with her family and stayed until January 1875, during which she was interviewed by Wilhelm Bleak and Lucy Lloyd. She was from the Katkop Mountains, northwest of Brandvlei in what is today South Africa. Okay, we can probably get her on the stream, right? That's realistic. Next stream gonna be viral, get it? Cause rotavirus. Boo that guy. Actually ban that guy. That's disgusting. Ava Gardner. Ooh, 1990 she died. I mean, time machines exist, probably. We could probably just, like, dig her up. She's an American actress. She was in The Killers. She was in Mogambo. She was in, The Night of the Iguana, classic film. She's part of the golden age of Hollywood. She was married to Mickey Rooney. And Frank Sinatra. Damn. She got around. We got, like, an actual, like, famous person on this. Like someone who's like a big deal, I guess, in like pop culture, U.S. pop culture, I guess. That's very surprising, given I'm sure the next one I click on will just be some complete BS, like Farandola. You know what? If you live, how many people live here? 1,694. If you live in Farandola, do not interact. Get out of here. Don't watch the stream. Don't watch the video. Mayor Ilario Lacheta, get out of here. Banned. I'm from Farandola. Well, too bad. Get your ass out of the stream if you're from Farandola. Another me, an EP from Kim Sung-kyu. Extended play by South Korean singer Kim Sung-hyu. It was released on November 19, 2012 by Willem Entertainment. Kim Sung-gyu releasing pre-release track Shine on November 7 before this album release on November 19th. Although with a short promotion, the album was well received and became the top-selling physical album of the month of November with 62,958 copies sold. More than half the album sales were from international fans. You know what? Good for you. Can we make this the theme song of the stream? Wait, actually, I won't be able to put it in the video, but I'm about to play this. Stallman is a surname likely of German origin. Notable people with the surname include Jorg Stallman and Jost Stallman. They're probably related. Everybody with the same last name is related. May 1967! Like the month. No way! Just the whole month. The whole month of May. Okay, let's see what happened. Let's go. Let's pick one thing from every day. Tim McGraw was born on May 1st, 1967. Let's see. Led by Huey P. Newton, a group of 40 members of the Black Panthers armed with shotguns, rifles, and pistols forced their way into a session of the California House of Representatives at the state Capitol building in Sacramento as a protest against gun control. The California Assembly was debating passage of a bill that would forbid carrying a loaded firearm at any public place in the state. No violence took place other than scuffling between some of the Panthers and the state police who responded to the incident. Sacramento police stopped 5 cars that were bringing another 26 armed men to join 40 inside the Capitol and confiscated 15 weapons. L month, that's crazy. As for the men in the Capitol building, the police declined to make arrests because there was no violation of the law, and the weapons were returned to the group. May 3rd. Kenny Hotz was born. I don't know who that is. Is it Hotz? I don't know. But Park Chung-hee of the Democratic Republican Party received 5 million votes in the South Korean presidential election, so just jot that one down in your notebooks. You'll need that one for later. On May 4th, 1967, the U.S. state of Wisconsin became the last in the United States to end its criminal ban on the sale of yellow margarine, which was legal in the other 49 states, as the state Senate joined the House in voting to end the prohibition, which was the most important thing to happen ever, really. May 5th, nothing interesting happened on this day. The World Journal Tribune, a New York City evening newspaper formed 8 months earlier in the merger of the World Telegram and Sun, the Journal American and the Herald Tribune during the city's newspaper strike, ceased publication. During its brief existence, the WJT was nicknamed the Widget Hendrik Hertzberg, commentator for The New Yorker, would later comment that this ghastly amalgam, which contained one way or another the bones of a dozen once great newspapers, expired like an overfed cannibal. What a crazy ass thing to say. Anyways, Jules Jordan died? No! On May 6th? No. Anyways, May 7th. In Tel Aviv, Prime Minister Levi Echel's Ministerial Committee on Security conditionally approved commencing a war with an attack on Syria. May 8th, in a 7-2 decision in the case of Redrup versus New York, the U.S. Supreme Court reversed convictions for sale and distribution of obscene books and magazines for defendants from New York, Kentucky, and Arkansas, concluding that under the First Amendment, the state may not constitutionally inhibit distribution of literary material as obscene unless 3 conditions were met. The dominant theme must appeal to a prurient interest in sex. The material must be patently offensive, and 3, the material must be utterly without redeeming social value. That's great. The Supreme Court could just like say, screw your book if it does not have social value. That is hilarious. May 9th. Nothing happened. Philippa Schuyler, American pianist and former child prodigy, died in a helicopter crash. Schuyler, who was in South Vietnam as a special newspaper correspondent for the Manchester, New Hampshire Union Leader, had been scheduled to leave 3 days earlier and had stayed on and was assisting the evacuation of Catholic school children from Hue to Da Nang. She and one of the children drowned when the helicopter fell into Da Nang Bay, while another 16 people survived. May 10th, Najib Talib resigned as Prime Minister of Iraq. President Abdul Rahman Arif would perform the job for 2 months until former Premier Tahir Yahya was sworn in. Good for him, I'm sure. Maybe. Possibly. On May 11th, there's a whole day for this one. That's crazy. President Nikolai Podgorny of the Soviet Union met in Moscow with a visiting group of Egyptian officials, including future President Anwar Sadat, and provided them a false intelligence report that Israel was mobilizing troops on the border with Syria and planning to attack between 18 and 22 May 1967. Although the report was false and Nasser knew it, an observer would later write, Egypt's President Gamal Abdel Nasser mobilized troops along the Egyptian border with Israel 3 days later. An Israeli historian offered another theory that whether or not Nasser believed that Israel was about to attack Syria, he could not afford to remain idle in the face of such a possibility, thus also throwing away the opportunity to regain his position of leadership in the Arab world. This is a lot of reading. This is a bad idea for me. Where did we leave off? The United States enhanced its ability to measure nuclear explosions from outer space as it activated the sensor of 2 new Vela satellites that had been launched at the end of April. The new satellites had instruments that could not only detect the X-rays and gamma rays emitted from the flash of a nuclear explosion, but could also measure the field of radiation. Tipsy when he has to read something other than Yowie. That is actually painfully accurate. Born Tommy Gunn, American pornographic actor, director, and former dancer as Tommy Strata in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That's important. May 14th, Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees hit his 500th career home run, becoming only the 6th MLB player after Babe Ruth, Jamie Foxx, Mel Ott, Ted Williams, and Willie Mays to make the accomplishment. Okay, cool. Italo Moose died. Unbelievable. On May 16th. Whoa, my god. Russian author Alexander Solzhenitsyn took a stand against censorship by the government of the USSR, signing his name to and mailing 250 copies of a letter mailed to members of the Union of Soviet Writers and to editors of literary newspapers and magazines. In order to avoid the risk of anyone other than himself being blamed for the contents, he addressed each of the envelopes in his own writing prior to the Fourth Writers' Congress. Listing 8 instances where he had been silenced by the government, he complained that his work had been smothered, gagged, and slandered. What? That's questionable. I don't know about all that. My goodness. And called on the recipients to work towards abolishing censorship and defending union members against unjust persecution. Okay, cool. May 17th, Queen Elizabeth II announced that her 18-year-old son, Prince Charles, would be invested as Prince of Wales in the summer of 1969. I was like, invested as Prince of Wales. Like, yeah, we're gonna put him in an account somewhere. That'll be fine. All right, I'm getting bored. I'm bored of this situation. What else happened? John F. Kennedy had been assassinated by 5 anti-Castro Cubans. Why would New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison say that? Why would he do that? He said that the accused assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald, did not even touch a gun that day. That's crazy. Anyways, moving along. What happened on the last day of this historic month, truly? Phil Keoghan, New Zealand-born American TV host of The Amazing Race, was born. I mean, that's incredible. That is really... Kenny Lofton. Oh, different Kenny Lofton, not the fat NBA player. I love that guy. Shout out, wait, shout out, before we close this segment of the stream, Kenny Lofton. Wait, Kenny Lofton Jr. Not related to the basketball player, by the way. Then you have a picture of this guy? Come on. We got it. Priorities here, man. This guy is fucking massive, and I love him. This guy he's in the wrong sport. I respect this guy. That's huge. Anyways, yeah, I think that's probably gonna do it for this segment. I mean, this was pretty fun though.